This coverage of MWC is brought to you by Bitdefender Mobile Security. One might be curved and one might be flat, but they are similar in size and they bring a lot of the same things to the table. Hey, it's Josh Vigard from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is your first look at the LG G Pro 2 versus the LG G Flex. Now, while both of these phones are quite big, we did say that in the G Flex, that curve from top to bottom did help with the handling of the large display. Now, we are dealing with a 6-inch display on the G Flex and 5.9 in the G Pro 2. However, both of these phones have pretty much the same handling across the board. The G Pro 2 does have a matted back instead of the glossy plastic that you have on the G Flex, but the G Flex also did have that self-healing back that did work for at least shallow scratches. All in all, though, the build quality on both is quite nice, and you have two very attractive devices in the hand. You do see a change in resolution when it comes to the displays, as the G Flex does have a slightly larger screen at 6 inches over the 5.9-inch 1080p display found on the G Pro 2. However, the G Flex only sports 720p resolution. When it comes to the G Pro 2, you do have great display quality no matter what you are viewing, whether it's media or reading, but the same can also be said about the G Flex. That curve does provide a very subtly different experience when it comes to viewing content on there, but it really doesn't change the experience all that much, and it still packs a very good experience. So, despite the difference in resolution, you'll have a great time using either screen. Performance across the board is pretty much the same between these two devices because they both come with the powerful Snapdragon 800 processor backed by the Adreno 330 graphics. However, the G Pro 2 does sport more RAM with an extra gig, bringing it up to 3 gigabytes of RAM. You don't get expandable storage on the G Flex, however, when it comes to the hardware, but it does come with a decent 32 gigabytes of storage. Whereas on the G Pro 2, you are able to expand it with a micro SD card slot. Now, both of these phones do sport 13 megapixel cameras, but we will say that the G Pro 2 comes with not only the OIS that we loved from the G2, but also OIS Plus, which has a software boost, which makes it probably an even better camera overall. When it comes to the software, however, finally, we do see that it's the same experience in either camp. Even though the G Flex does run Optimus Ui along that curve that it has in its screen, it really doesn't take advantage of it much at all. The only real feature that you'll find is that when you turn on the lock screen, you can tilt the phone back and forth, and then the lock screen will move along the curve. But that's really just about it. Other than that, the Optimus Ui is pretty much the same between these two phones, but the G Pro 2 does introduce some new software features. One in particular that we had fun using was the knock code, in which you can unlock the phone, turn on and unlock the phone rather, by using a pattern sequence of taps onto the turned off screen. After that, the Optimus Ui is pretty much what you would expect it to be, but it is in need of an update. Whether it's on the G Pro 2 or on the G Flex, we would like to see a new aesthetic look for the Optimus Ui, as right now it is still a little bit bloated and is a little bit in your face with all of its features. To curve or not to curve? That's essentially the main question when it comes to the differences between these two phones. While the G Flex does have lower resolution in its display, I have no doubt that you will still have a lot of fun on it, just as much as you might on the G Pro 2. These two phones are about the same size, so when it comes to the handling, it's about the same. So really, it's kind of your pick. If you want something a little bit more classical, or you want something a little bit more different and probably a little bit more special in the LG G Flex. But in the end, it's up to you. Keep it tuned to Android Authority for more coverage of the LG G Pro 2 and for all of our Mobile World Congress coverage from here in Barcelona, Spain.